you're doing it this way. And which is why I'm glad that Pi came out and was like, hey, and this is actually a quote from him. President Obama's plan marks a monumental shift toward government control of the internet. It gives the FCC the power to micromanage virtually every aspect of how the internet works, like everybody said. The plan explicitly opens the door to billions of dollars in new taxes on broadband. These new taxes will mean higher prices for consumers and more hidden fees that they will have to pay. That's pretty simple, pretty easy to understand. If we could just echo that, that'd be great.
All right, so how do we do it?
Honestly, I think we need to be more like, I know it's so cliche to say we need to reach out more, we need to do this, but I have seen some strides on the internet and that kind of thing, social media. I think that the right is doing better. I just don't think we're at the left's level yet. Again, we're not the people of unicorns and rainbows, though.
Well, here's another part of the problem. Tech issues are not the realm of the right. People are like, oh, I've heard of this net neutrality thing, but I don't know much about it. Well, that's the problem. The left does, and the people who are supporting it know a lot about it. They know the questions to ask and how to spin the answers. And our side, especially the activists who have traditionally focused on broad issues, the constitutionality of Second Amendment, things like that, don't dig deep into the technical and legal ramifications of what happens when you hand over control. It's a lot of work to take something that you're not familiar with and try and learn not just what it is, but the history of how it's been regulated in the past, and study what could happen with the proposed regulations that are coming down the pike, and then compare what that can do to the market worldwide. I mean, this is not just affecting how fast your Netflix streams. You know what I mean? It's extremely daunting. And if you don't have, like they do, an army who are putting out opposition to this, you get overwhelmed. I mean, you're not familiar with it. You don't have the time to dedicate it to it. And they've got an army of big money, and an army of people who are very good, as OFA has shown, at organizing an effort for something. And they're all over college campuses, the internet, blogs, newspapers, and touting big names in support of this. And we're not organized to counter that.
Yeah, well, and it doesn't help when our big name speakers and that kind of thing are banned from college campuses.
Right. Well, it doesn't help either when our big name speakers, particularly online, considering this is largely an internet and mobile issue, won't educate themselves, won't insert themselves and make this a huge fight. This is not small. This is Dodd-Frank, Obamacare, free college, amnesty big. I hate using the word amnesty, sorry, but it came out. So, this is a huge regulatory change that shifts how the open and free and competition producing internet has worked for the last, since its public inception, and shifts it to complete government control of how it's doled out. They can come back at any time and say, you're charging too much, or this pricing scale doesn't work. And one of the things that he said today is this is a blatant call for billions in new taxes to expand infrastructure in broadband and mobile. This will cost billions. And by cost, he doesn't necessarily just mean broadband providers and mobile, service providers. This is going to get passed on to every customer until they tell people that they can't do it, in which case they lose profit, go out of business, and guess who steps in to take over? Too big to fail.
The government.
Yay.
Christine.
Yeah, sorry. This is like a big soapbox for me.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Here, let me put this soapbox in front of you. Climb on up there. That's what Taylor did.
Oops.
Damn it, Taylor.
Yeah, this this is a huge issue, and this is so frustrating for me as somebody who's involved generally in politics to say, okay, this is it, guys. This is the hill to die on. And everybody's like, we'll wait for the next hill. And that happens with everything. It happened with Obamacare. It happened with immigration reform. It happened. It's going to happen with the budget. It's happened over and over and over again with continuing resolutions. It's going to happen with the community college thing. Apparently the GOP has no hill to die on. None. There is nothing important enough for the GOP to just throw full force behind.
You know what
Nothing.
I find very interesting? I was having a discussion with a friend of mine who is much more social conservative in his politics and hawkish in his politics. But he's a good friend of mine. And we were going back and forth about NSA spying. And I was saying that, no, this is a problem, this is the issue, and this has to be solved. And he goes, why are you choosing this to be your hill to die on? Because I like not having to worry who's listening to me. Oh, by the way, hi, NSA. I'm saying hi with 2 fingers. You figure out which 2.
Thumbs.
I'll give you a hint. It's not the thumbs.
I don't know. I hate that phrase, though, hill to die on. I think that we can not die.
See, being a native Mainer, I was always taught about Joshua Chamberlain, who very much refused to die on a hill.
Hell
So
yeah.
that metaphor's
20th Maine. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our only military contribution, basically, besides the ship getting blown up.
Well, that was a pretty much awesome military contribution, so...
Oh, yeah. Quality over quantity, for sure.
Yeah.
But there's got to be... And the outreach has got to be better than hiring the head of hipsters.com.
Yeah.
It's got to be better than that.
Well, and I try to kind of, engage people, on my Facebook and that kind of thing, because there are a lot of people who are like, oh, yeah, this sounds great and everything, and I'm like... Take this from someone who is legitimately interested in economics. I go to school for, I just love it. It makes sense to me. That's what I'm minoring in. And I kind of engage people my age or younger and that kind of thing because, people don't like politics. Most of the time they feel negative toward it. They just think it's, both sides suck and blah, 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 blah. Why are you sitting here saying everything sucks and not doing anything about it? This is simple material. I'll explain it to you. We can have a good discussion about it, and then we can change things. Let's start locally. And people respond to that, but it's just a matter of how long they respond to it for. And I feel like I'm hounding them after a while. I had the same discussion with the free college thing, explaining them, it's pointless. Once everybody has one, it's going to be worthless. It'll crowd out private business investments in education. 100, probably a million different things wrong with free community college. And I'm
free.
Yeah, it's not free. It's just a PR stunt. It is literally worthless. You have that 2-year degree? Well, so does Joe Schmo next to you. Neither of you have experience. So really, are you worth more because you have that now? No, you're not.
Yeah.
That's not how the world works.
Yep. Christine, where can we find you online?
At townhall.com and on Twitter at @CRussell. And if you're into food pics, my Instagram is the same name.
All right.
Michelle?
Well, you can find me Sunday nights right here on Vigilant Liberty Radio starting this week. Thursday nights on From the Right Radio, and I am at Gold's Girl pretty much everywhere else on the internet.
Crystal?
You can find me here every Tuesday night on Vigilant Liberty Radio, or you can find me on Twitter at Tar Heel Crystal. My name is spelled Krystle.
Oh, by the way,
Taylor?
You can find me at Taylor M VLR. That is at Taylor M VLR. I finally changed it.
Yeah, I was about to say, no more iDesert blog.
No more iDesert blog. It's time to change. Christine, I do have one question for you.
Yes.
Explain your Tara Lipinski story.
So I've been obsessed with her since I was little. Like since I was like 7 when she won the gold medal. We had the same birthday, so that was like, and I was like into figure skating at that time. Like I did like figure skating lessons and stuff. And one day it was like some random Grand Prix event that she was commentating with Johnny Weir. And I tweeted, "Oh my God, Tara, like at Tara and at Johnny are on my TV right now, and everything is right with the world." So she replied with, "This made me smile, thank you." And I basically screamed for about 10 minutes and screenshotted it and sent it to all my friends. So I made Tara Lipinski smile once in my life.
Well, there you go.
It was very exciting.
She is adorable.
And by the way, I agree with you, by the way, suck at Flyers.
What? Oh, I mean, they lost the Habs today in overtime after they were winning for most of the game.
Yeah. That's what I was saying.
Oh.
Suck at Flyers.
It was very lilty.
And congratulations to my Dallas Stars for somehow winning in Boston.
Everybody wins in Boston. Boston's terrible.
Yeah, well, they should. The Stars have not played well, and when you go up 3-1 and then end up having to win 5-3, yeah.
Is my fake cousin Antoine Roussel still on the Stars?
Yes, and he actually got kicked out of tonight's game.
Oh, he's got to behave better.
Well, he cross-checked someone in the throat. I don't think he meant to cross-check.
Shit happens, Taylor.
Yeah, I don't think he meant to cross-check him in the throat. I think he meant to cross-check him, just not in the throat. And for those wondering, are we only going an hour? Yes, we're only going an hour because somebody, me, has to go to work.
Yes, but I do want to give a plug out there. This week is actually Congenital Heart Defect Awareness Week. So from February 7th to February 14th every year is Awareness Week for that cause. And I just want to give some helpful advice to new parents out there. So every parent usually has the 20-week full anatomy scan of their baby and that kind of thing. And most of the time they can catch heart defects and that kind of thing, which occur about 8 in every 1,000 babies that are born. But sometimes they don't catch those. So the way you get around going home with a baby that you don't know if they have issues with is you ask, and in some states it's actually required, to get a pulse oximetry screening, which just, it's this little thing that they put on their toe and it measures the oxygen in their blood. And if it's low, obviously, they'll do better. They'll find that issue and and if they don't find an issue, then that's a peace of mind for you. So I strongly recommend a pulse ox screening.
All right. I agree. That's anybody else? Anybody got final thoughts? Sorry, we're only going an hour, folks.
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
I think we got it all out. It felt good. Felt good on the whole. Mm-hmm.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks for having me too.
All right. So Alan will be back next week, and until then, be sure to be here tomorrow morning for 12 p.m. Eastern, so afternoon, for the Liz Harrison Show and the Right Mics at 2 p.m. Eastern. And then you've got Liberty Unfiltered with Steve Long at 9 p.m. Eastern, followed by our good friend Amy Curtis with Modern Comments at 10 p.m. Eastern. And then, of course, Right War with Liz and myself, and Mary Chastain is the guest. So, see you guys tomorrow. Thanks.
Sure.
This show is copyright by VLR Media. All opinions of hosts, panelists, and guests are their own and may not reflect the opinion of VLR Media or anyone else.